Thank you for joining us for this interview with Breeze Magazine. My name is Clinton. I go by
Yes.
the artist name of MKNK, and today I'll be representing Breeze to talk to you about Everland, right? And Breeze Magazine
Okay.
is actually online magazine and also physical, all the way from Kota Kinabalu,
Mm-hmm.
Sabah. Okay, and
Wow.
yeah, have you ever been to Malaysia before?
I've never been to Malaysia.
Okay,
I
maybe
want to though, but
yeah, maybe sometime in
yes.
the
I mean,
future.
yeah.
Yeah. And if you
Mhm.
come, you definitely
Hopefully,
have
yes.
to visit KK, Kota Kinabalu. Um,
I will. Kota Kinabalu, of course, I would love to be there.
awesome. So I hear a lot of storytelling behind the songs.
Mhm.
Do you have a
Mhm.
theme in mind before you started writing Everland?
Oh, do I have what?
Do
Tea?
you had a theme in mind, like a story in mind before you started writing Everland?
When I started writing musically, I had a certain things that I wanted to as a musical storytelling wise. Like
Mhm.
I wanted to make it honestly, I wanted to make it much more bigger than it actually sounds right now. But um, I just wanted to I wanted to build up and change and wanted to just express or like shout out that dreamy feeling
Mm,
of that in a musical storytelling sense.
mm,
Lyrically, um, I wanted to uh, say the similar things, but in lyrically, I tried to speak my own story inside.
mm,
Because when you talk about Neverland or when you talk about a place that you want to be in, it has to be a personal story.
mm.
So and I had ended up, I think it was writing, I ended up writing story of my own self rather than something that doesn't exist.
Is there a particular story? Like when you mentioned that it's a story about yourself, is it
Mhm.
about love or is it about yeah, about life?
It's more like when you write a diary, like when you like end of the day, when you start writing a diary, you talk about how your day went, and
Mm,
also you think about how your life is and how you want to live, or what your dream is, or what you did right, or what you did wrong. You know, you have all these kind of thoughts at the end of the day.
mm,
And I think for me, the Everland is a song like that.
mm,
It's more am I doing it right? Or is
mm,
it something that I want to do? Or am I going towards what I always wanted? Or
mm,
is the world helping me, or is the world stopping me from doing what I want? You know, like
yeah.
living as a musician, or living some as a artist who wants to do something of my own,
Mm,
there are always obstacles that feels like things that you have to do things that you really don't want to do.
yes, that's right.
But yeah, and eventually you just don't want to grow up, you know? You just want to
Right,
be like a Peter Pan. You just want to be a
right.
young kid who just wants to live and do whatever you want. I
Yeah,
think the whole story of this song is something that just reflects that feeling.
yeah. I can totally relate to that as well because myself as a
Mhm.
musician, I've been in this industry for about 10
Mhm.
years now. And at some point, you
Yes.
kind of almost have to be delusional and really go against the odds because the odds are
Mhm.
almost never in your favor. So that's
Yes, yes.
really, really a really nice way to put it, I would say. Um,
Mhm.
can I know what's your favorite song from the EP?
Personally, from the CP, my favorite song is A Bird.
Or okay, hmm.
Yes.
And is there a reason why?
Because oh yes, it's because um I think a bird it's actually a prayer that I'm praying to God. Um when you pray, I think it's a prayer is the moment when you get most personal, you
Mm,
know, or most honest about something. You know, even your dirtiest thoughts or like the happiest thoughts or
mm,
like things that you can't tell anybody else is but when you pray you
mm,
can tell those things, you know, towards something, I don't know, anything, towards a being or something. I think I just a bird, it's something that I always wanted to say or tell or what I think.
Mm.
Um, and it's a unique song for me because, in life, you don't have much chance to really, self-reflect or like tell something that's deep inside.
Right.
But I feel like A Bird is a song that actually I kind of succeeded making it in a way, just to just say something deeply, like deep enough to just be me.
So the bird is kind of like a messenger in some way, or
A bird is make if I'm a Christian, so
yeah.
like I was born in Christian family.
Mhm.
I was born in Bible. There's a in Leviticus. There's a God is actually telling Israelites to um he's giving manuals of
Mm.
how to live,
Right.
and one of them is giving sacrifices
Okay. Yes.
so the humans could reconcile with God, which is
Mm.
almighty and strong and powerful. And
Mm.
um even back then, people had, like, there were rich people and there were poor people,
Right.
and God was actually giving them these manuals saying, if you are rich, like, rich people can, like, and just give the best thing that you have, like best animal that you have, like the
Mm.
firstborn, like the cleanest animal. And rich people can give cows, like, because they're rich enough to sacrifice cows. But
Mm.
people with different levels of wealth, let's say if you're not as rich as people who could give cow, there's a manual saying you should give a sheep or a goat. But like later on, when there's like, and at the end, it says when you don't have anything else, like if you're really poor,
Right.
you could just catch a bird from a street and use that as a sacrifice.
Mm.
And he's saying, like, a cow, and by sacrificing that, it is the same level as sacrificing a cow,
Mm.
because they're giving what they can actually give. That's like even the smallest thing is something that's even if it's the only thing, that's like the biggest thing, usually for people. So
Mm. Wow, that's deep.
this is all I have to give it to you. This is all I have. But please just receive it, So it's very personal and very, like,
Wow.
somewhat deep or somewhat religious.
Do you have any difficulty when you were writing this song? Because usually the deeper songs are. I think I have
Hmm.
two questions for you. One is the
Hmm.
writing process. What
Hmm.
was? Do you find any difficulty translating a prayer into a song? And as well, my second question is, do you have any contemplation on whether this was a song that you wanted to share to the world? Because when you are writing your deepest thoughts, it's
Hmm.
you're at a very vulnerable stage, and usually it's you feel uncomfortable, right? Letting the rest of the world know your
Yes,
thoughts.
yes,
So
yes. Hmm.
yeah, so yeah.
Oh, that's a good question. So like the first one, um, my own philosophy of songwriting is, uh, the lyrics have their own melodies hidden inside.
Mm,
So you could write the melodies and put lyrics inside all too. That's another way. But also another way is, if you have the lyrics, or if and melody at the same time, I believe there's a right melody that I could sing for that word or a sentence.
mm,
So that's my philosophy. So I try to keep that, and I constantly try to dig and figure out how to
how to make them work together.
finish a sentence as a sentence, yeah, at work together. And I think it kind of worked well so far. I
Mm,
mean, who knows?
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
deeper
vice
songs.
versa. Like, if I want to write lyrics for, like, if there's a melody and if I want to put lyrics into it, I constantly think, what is this melody trying to say? Or what is it that I want to say? Or what is this background, them, like, this instrument is trying to say? So it's constantly figuring out, like, what other things are like to each other, like what melody is to the instruments, what lyric is to a melody. I think
Mm,
it's a constant process. And for the second question, uh I'm at a point, I feel like, I'm at a point where I try not to care,
mm,
and I'm at a point where just revealing myself this way, it's very um humbling, but also very satisfying and very stress relieving
Mm,
moment where you're sometimes you feel very naked, you know, like because you're just trying to put that deep emotion into it.
yeah.
But since I've been doing this too about more than about 10 years now and
Mm,
feel like the way people are seeing me through the media and real me, there's always a gap.
right.
So no matter what I do, no matter what I say, I know there's gonna be a gap, but
Mm,
I'm just so it doesn't matter what I do, I guess. So like I mean, of course it matters, but I try to uh it's like it's more being more revealing. It's somewhat as for this album I experienced that just making a bird, people actually a lot of people relate to this song more than I thought. When I was releasing, like I was thinking, who would ever listen to this song, you know? But
yeah.
because I feel like the song's really slow and the lyrics are really hard. I mean, it's very personal and somewhat religious. I mean, I'm like, who would listen to this song? And actually, a lot of people relate to it. I'm realizing that more you actually reveal yourself,
Yeah.
more people are actually understanding myself, me or and the song, and more people are actually like communicating to it. So
I
yeah,
guess like people are
I'm
trying
talking
to.
too much. Yes.
No, it's good. This is really good info
Okay.
because I guess everyone is always trying to look for that that thing to be able to relate to, and this is why you have like your favorite
Mm-hmm,
artist or your favorite musician or singer because
mm-hmm,
you kind of get drawn into them based on their stories, right? Their
mm-hmm.
backstories and who they
Yes,
are
yes,
as
yes.
a person, and probably that's why like a bird is doing so much better than you expected. Um,
I hope. Yeah, I think so. I think so.
so my last question for you, I think this is going to be
Mm-hmm,
an interesting one as well, is because since you mentioned
mm-hmm,
that you've been in the industry for more than 10 years now, what is one
mm-hmm.
advice you would give to your younger self who's just discovered the love for music?
Okay. I feel so old now. I shouldn't talk it that way. I mean, I think it depends on what kind of genre that you want to do. Like if you want to become like an idol, like K-pop idol, I think
Right.
that's a whole different story. But as a songwriter or as an like artist that you want to be, like or someone that who wants to talk their own story and make their own content or create something that way,
Mm,
I think I mean, skill is very important, so you must have it. But also, like, I think the most important thing is how honest can you be,
right.
or how relatable can you be?
Mm,
Because, like, when you start doing music, you have to do like it's not something that you're gonna finish like in 5 years or like 6 years. You're just gonna constantly do it, but
mm,
I think the most important thing is about how to be yourself in that because if you want to keep going and if you want your fans or if you want people around you to really understand you and relate to you, I
mm.
think it's really important to know how to tell your own story and how to put your emotions forward into that music. I think that's how it gives life a lot of times.
That's really good advice. Do you ever have
Yeah, I
trouble?
mean, if you,
Yeah, sorry, you were saying?
Mhm. Sorry, I mean, if you want to make money, like you might have to think a little differently, but
Well, that's a whole different thought process.
that's a
Yeah,
whole different book, yes.
yeah. Well, I guess on behalf of your fans, thank you for being so honest. I'm pretty sure this is what is really needed in the music industry, especially in today's world. That honesty and the 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 willingness to be able to share your story. I think that's definitely something that people look forward to. Before we end this interview, will you be able to give a quick shout out to Breeze Magazine, your Breeze Magazine fans?
Okay. Hello, fans of Breeze Magazine. This is Isaac Kong. Thank you for listening to our conversation today. And hopefully you guys will see a great music and content and artists through this magazine. And I am very honored here to be with Clinton today. So
Thank you.
thank you so much for this great opportunity.
Yeah, thank you for your time and hope to be able to speak to
Mhm.
you soon. All right. Have a nice day.
All right, hope to.